Greetings from New York City. I'm Phil and we're running the bridges. This is a video series where we visit all the bridges in New York City that you can run across. The big, the small, the old, the new, the world famous icons, and the ones you've never even heard of. And today we are continuing in our series of bridges across Wards and Randall's Island. And today we are visiting the Triborough Bridge, the Bronx leg of the Triborough Bridge. So this is our first video series of 3 on the Triborough Bridge. And now the Triborough Bridge, of course, connects the 3 boroughs of Manhattan, Bronx, and Queens. And it's made up of 3 separate bridges. The Bronx leg crosses the Bronx Kill over onto Randall's Island, from the Bronx to Randall's Island. The Manhattan leg crosses the East River from Manhattan onto Randall's Island, and the Queens leg crosses the Hell Gate from Queens onto Wards Island. And they're all, by vehicle, if you're driving, they're all connected by a great big viaduct that it sits atop the island. If you are running, walking, or cycling, they are entirely separate bridges, and you come back to the ground on Randall's Wards Island. And so it's a little bit of history about this bridge, because it's a major piece of infrastructure in New York City. It was built between 1929 and 1936, and it was proposed as early as, going back to like 1916, I believe they were saying. They broke ground on October 25th, 1929, the day after the first part of the stock market crash. They got some of it done. By 1932, they kind of started running out of funds, but it got started up again in 1934. It finished up in 1936. And so, like I said, it connects all 3 boroughs centered on Randall's Island, Wards Island. And each leg has pedestrian access. Now, we've already covered the Bronx Kill footbridge and the Wards Island footbridge. And so I'm not going to get too much in the history or of all of the entirety of the bridge, but we're kind of focusing on the Bronx leg right now. So we are at 133rd Street and Cypress Avenue. 133rd Street and Cypress Avenue. And actually, if you're coming from the west, from Bruckner Boulevard, it is that's Bruckner Boulevard to the west. If you're coming this way, Bruckner Boulevard kind of veers off at an angle, and 133rd Street starts, and that's 133rd Street to the east. And now the Bronx leg, like I said, it crosses the Bronx Kill, which is a narrow body of water. If you saw my video on the Bronx Kill footbridge, you saw how small a body of water it is. But this bridge is made up of a series of truss bridges. They're fixed bridges, and there's a sidewalk on either side. They converge halfway through, which I will show you, of course. And I'll just show you, right now we're on the west side, and this was recently redone to make it apparently ADA compliable, because this is, I'll just show you. Yeah, here. It's just a ramp. It's like a series of ramps that goes up there. I don't like to run on it because I don't like to go in circles like that. But see, it's ADA compliant. Just recently, because it had been closed for a while. Now, but like I said, we are just a few blocks away from where the Bronx Kill footbridge starts. And now, actually, when that opened up in 2013, I was not even sure if they were going to continue. So now we're going underneath the expressway, underneath the roadway, onto the other side. And I was not even sure if they're going to keep these open, but they have. They've kept both these walkways open. Although, really, for a runner, there's almost no point to take it, because this truss bridge is a 55-foot climb. It's 55 feet above the water, and you can kind of see that's where the spans are. And so why would you want to climb these steps or climb that ramp when you can just go a few blocks away, stay at grade, and connect straight to the Hellgate pathway, which I showed you in the last video. So, but nevertheless, this is still here, and we are going to just climb this staircase. All right, so this is the east side. All right. Although you do get a little bit of a view, I guess. Like I said, the bridge built from 1929 to 1936. It was huge, you know, and that's the start of when, like, the car age kind of began, you know. So, so there's just a little bit of a view. The railroad tracks over there, and that's where the Bronx footbridge goes. All right, so there's a walkway on either side. But this connected, not only did it enable people driving cars, who drives cars in New York City, right? But people driving cars to get from Manhattan to Queens, to that part of Queens, get from Manhattan or Queens to the Bronx, connect them all. But it also allowed people from Long Island to get onto the mainland. This is before the Whitestone or the Throgs Neck Bridge. So it connected Long Island to the mainland. And that was pretty important. And the construction was kind of spearheaded by the notorious Robert Moses, who was the head. When they built the bridge, they founded the Triborough Bridge Authority. And Robert Moses who was at the time the head of the New York Parks Department. He was named head of the Triborough Bridge Authority. And this is a toll bridge, still is a toll bridge. But he would collect the money, and with that money, he was able to ram through any other projects he did. Now, when this opened in 1929, all the expressways weren't built. Those all came later. But this kind of enabled Robert Moses to have an ungodly, unwarranted amount of power in construction and development of projects in New York City in that era. Okay, and we'll take a quick look. As you can see, where is it? You can see over there the towers of the Manhattan leg, which we'll get to in a future video. So as you can see, we have a series of truss spans. The main span that crosses the Bronx Kill, I believe it said 360 feet. But now, of course, you may be asking yourself, well, Phil, isn't it called the RFK Bridge? And officially, it was renamed in the RFK Bridge in honor of Robert F. Kennedy Sr., a politician from Massachusetts who became a New York senator and ran for president, and was, of course, assassinated in 1968, very close to the date of my birth, believe it or not. But it was renamed in 2008, but nobody calls it RFK Bridge. Signs will say RFK Bridge, but everybody just calls it Triborough. But you see, so you do have a little bit of a view. And there's the Bronx Kill footbridge. Right there. Right there. And that's a railroad bridge over there. And you can see the Hellgate Bridge off in the distance over there. And that's the Bronx Kill. And it's actually pretty wide, and it looks like fairly deep right now. So the tide must be up. Sometimes it barely looks ankle deep. So we have not even, you can see we have not even crossed the waterway yet. And we are beginning our descent. Right now we are just crossing the water. And this is a ramp on this side. And, oh, see? Yeah. This is the first time I've been on this bridge in quite a while. So technically this does not converge anymore. This is interesting because, so there's the other side, and it goes down that ramp, and they have a series of more not so steep inclines, because it used to connect right here, and it would just go up and connect to the bridge up there. But now, in order to make it wheelchair accessible, they've smoothed this out, and so this does not actually converge anymore. Okay, I stand corrected. But up until then, that used to converge right there. And but again, whether you're walking or bicycling or using a wheelchair, I don't really see much use for this bridge personally myself, but nevertheless, it is there. But it does connect up to a sidewalk, a walkway here, and they're doing some construction on some of the areas here. Randall's Island, we're on Randall's Island here, and so that is a look. I'll just give you another look here at that, and here's where the west walkway enters. So you can see that. And so there's some ball fields off that way, there's some ball fields off this way. And that is a look at the Bronx leg of the Triborough Bridge. And you can see, again, like how close we are to the Bronx Kill footbridge. So I always much prefer that footbridge than these. But they are here. You may have your own reasons for enjoying the climb and enjoying the view. And it does have that historical aspect as well. It's being part of the Triborough Bridge. So that's a look at the Triborough Bridge, first leg. So next two videos, we'll hit the other two legs of the Triborough Bridge. And but thank you for watching. I hope to see you out here, running here sometime soon. And we will see we kind of know where the wind's going to take us, but we'll see where the wind takes us for next time. All right, take care.